You've probably heard about Mark 7 Reloading's Revolution high-speed reloading presses that are setting new standards for speed and precision, and you've seen online videos of them in operation. Competitive semi-auto race gun shooters have learned that with Mark 7 Reloading's high-speed equipment, they can produce match-grade ammo that will give them a competitive edge by barely meeting the latest minimum power factor requirements, shot after shot, all at rates of up to 3,500 rounds produced per hour. This level of production frees up hours and hours of valuable time that they can now use to analyze the ever-changing USPSA rulebook, clean the grit off the thousands of cases they picked up off the ground, and visit their chiropractors after all that bending over to pick up brass. But what if you don't shoot a bottom feeder? What if you only enter competitions where the rules can be printed on a business card, like bowling pin matches? What if you're like me, and when you go shooting, all of your fired cases go straight from the gun into a clean container, as with a revolver, bolt-action varmint or big game rifle, belt-fed Browning, or Gatling gun? With Mark 7 Reloading, do they make a product for shooters like us? Yes! Absolutely. I'm John Ross, and I'm here to tell you about Mark 7's new Evolution Pro. With the Evolution Pro, you have not only the same ability as with their Revolution commercial press to automatically turn out mind-numbing quantities of ammo that Elmer Keith wouldn't have been caught dead with, but also bucket after bucket of the kind of rounds that people like us want to shoot. Every Evolution press comes with the Mr. Bullet Feeder Pro, an automatic bullet collator and feeder that, with proper bullet plate and drop die, works flawlessly with 95% of all bullets, weights, and designs. Works with all calibers up to the 500 Smith & Wesson and a 650 grain bullet like this one. Need 2,000 rounds of match-grade 25 Gibbs ammo for those over 500-yard shots on prairie dogs in Wyoming? Screw bench rest dies into the tool head, set your powder charge, put brass in the case collator and primers into the optional primer collator, fill the bullet feeder with Jeff Fowler's finest, and let the Evolution Pro hum. Keep the component hoppers full, and you'll have 2,000 rounds in less time than it takes for your girlfriend to get out of the bathroom in the morning. Is Knob Creek coming up, and you want to wow the folks at the night shoot with your water-cooled Colt MG38B belt-fed, shooting all tracer ammo? The Evolution Pro will turn out 06 tracer ammo by the bucket load, using those surplus 30 cal tracer bullets you bought by the pallet full when they were at scrap price back in the 90s. Is your friend having a cookout at his rural property and wants you to bring your Gatling for his guests' entertainment? In less time than you can imagine, the Evolution Pro will make enough 45-70 rounds for the guests to cut down several dead trees as they turn the Gatling's crank. Upcoming safari in Africa? Better practice your speed shooting in case you're faced with a charge. The Evolution Pro can give you 1,000 rounds of 458 ammo in 30 minutes, so you can get used to your gun, make sure the stock won't split, and be certain of its reliability before taking on Cape Buffalo with it. Richard Davis has his week-long bowling pin shoot coming up, and he's asked me to bring a batch of 640 grain Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum ammo to give everyone there a chance to shoot heavy caliber bullets in the 500, particularly the Performance Center's hunting models like this one. The Evolution Pro will knock out those just as easily as everything else. But I want to also produce a few hundred rounds of my carry loads to use in my stock class carry gun in the actual pin competition. Let me tell you about this load. When I was still in high school and college, I spent some time every summer with Elmer Keith. When we discussed defensive shooting, Keith said the 12-gauge riot gun with buckshot or slugs was, quote, the greatest alley cleaner of them all. I never forgot that. Because the Smith & Wesson 500 is capable of more energy than any 12-gauge, the 500 can equal or exceed the 12-gauge in terminal performance if it has the right bullet. I designed a full wad cutter with massive hollow point for the 500 and had molds made by Mia Privic of Slovenia. I can't decide which product of Slovenia is more beautiful, this gorgeous brass mold or our First Lady. Anyway, I call this bullet the alley cleaner because it weighs the same as a load of 12 gauge buckshot, travels even faster, and when you fill the hollow point with grease or wax, it gives the 500 in your concealment holster the same close range terminal performance as a 12 gauge riot gun. Should you ever have to pull the trigger, of course. On bowling pins, the full diameter edge of the hollow point bites into the pin's plastic outer case, and the grease in the hollow point creates immediate, violent expansion, dumping all the bullet's energy inside the pin and not only throwing the pin 15 feet past the back of the table, but often blowing it to pieces in the process, which is a real crowd pleaser. Problem is, my alley cleaner is a full wad cutter, as you can see here. And that's the one type of bullet that doesn't play well with a bullet feeder. Am I out of luck? No. Just attach the manual operating handle to the Evolution Pro, put the motor in neutral, and operate the press in manual mode with my right hand as I place a bullet on each charged case with my left. Manual operation is not an option on the commercial Revolution press, but it's easy on the Evolution. And you can crank out 400 special purpose loads, like my carry loads, in just 20 minutes. So, get your hands on Mark 7's new Evolution Pro and find out what you've been missing. The Evolution series is surprisingly affordable, with prices starting at less than 1% of the cost of a typical divorce. Remember the name Mark 7 Reloading. They're not just for bottom feeders.